Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and this is the final video to U.M.I. I'm sorry, B.U.I, B.U.T, and B.U.It, beauty. Recognizing beauty, the earthly beauty, as the Earth Mother. So divines. And these words, I'll just leave it. The deck I'm getting ready to use now is a very special deck given to me by my niece. It is a deck I have not used. It is the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise. And Spellcasters is spelled out funny. And I'm going to open it, and it comes with a book. And as you can see, the deck is still in plastic, hasn't been opened yet. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to open and bless and shuffle the deck and get it all ready for today's reading. And this will be today's reading. So I will be right back, and we're at 2 minutes. Okay, beloveds, we are back, and we did shuffle this deck, and we did bless it and open it and everything else to it, and we're just going to dive into it. The first card is a card that I identify very highly with as a divine feminine being, as with being an energy activator and an energy force, and an identifying factor within my own nature, and identifying from where sometimes I am reacting or acting from out of. And I'm just going to shut up now and show the card. This card is the Queen of Swords, beloveds. And it is a card, like I say, that I identify very much with. How beautiful is that? Queen of Swords, Taurus, May 5th. All of that came up. Let's look in the book and let's see what the author has to say about this particular card. Give me a moment, beloveds. You know what? Let me pause it a minute, and then I can make this a lot more speedier by putting the cards where they belong, and we'll just... Okay, Queen of Swords. Description: missing a loved one, loneliness, a powerful, determined, tenacious, and reserved individual, a grieving person, yearning for the distant or unattainable, a strong and confident leader, a deep sense of longing that remains unsatisfied, focusing thoughts on the past or the future, one who wears a thick mask, maintaining or utilizing one's position of authority, grace, determination, a persistent memory, an inward sadness, and an outward calm, an impenetrable facade, closing off the affections, an intelligent individual who is somewhat distant, bearing one's pain in silence, a person who is able to suppress their immediate desires in order to achieve larger aims. Reversed. None of these cards were in reverse positions, and I'm not going to deal with that, but I will share what the reversed position is, but I'm not working with the reversed positions in this particular reading. I'm dealing with the upright version, and the upright being the positive version that we want to express, and the reverse positions being the opposite of the energies. Okay? And so the mirror opposite of what this card represents. The mirror opposite or reversed, a person who should not be trusted. Something or someone that has been dearly missed returns. A calm facade is broken, a mask is cracked. Self-serving leadership, determination, and resolve start to falter. A longing is satisfied, a long-held desire or memory is felt in the past. A person whom the card represents is troubled or at odds with the querent. Magical uses. Okay, we're not going to use this in magical uses. We're not going to use this in that way, okay? But this is how this particular individual wrote this book and designed these cards. And again, the tarot is an ancient form of divination. And you see the queen here, and I see a sun crown on her head. And she reminds me, even though she's in this icy, cold place, she reminds me of Amaterasu, the Japanese god of the sun. And that's the sun crown she's wearing. And again, you have the lunar and the solar influences by the colors. Okay, and you have her passion at her back and her looking away from them. And she is wearing red shoes, and there is a bull kneeled beside her. Okay, so let's get into the next card and what the next card says. And the next card, beloveds, is number 18. It is the moon. The moon card. There we go. It is the moon card, beloveds. And again, that moon looks almost like a sun with the rays beaming down, but it's lunar. And you have a wolf and a dachshund. Is that a dog? Yes, that is a dachshund, a wiener dog, and a wolf. Okay, let's see what the card says. Description. Despite its distance, the moon's pull on humanity is undeniable. Controlling the tides and lighting up the night, the moon makes both survival and mischief possible. Representing the hidden aspects of the human psyche and reflecting the life-bearing aspects of the lunar goddess. The moon casts subtle light that is easy to ignore if we're not paying attention, even in times of desolation. However, there are jewels of wisdom and rays of hope and inspiration that can be found that can help illuminate the path forward and sustain us along the journey. We shouldn't be afraid to peer into the darkness, for there is where we will find the light. Divinatory meaning. Emotional or spiritual desolation and deprivation, gems of light in times of darkness. And this is very prophetic because, and very in tune with the other readings because of the Sanctum card that was pulled earlier from the 2013 deck, and also dealing with the jewels and also dealing with the earth, beloved. And here we have the moon and its reflection, and once again we have the colors of silver and gold, and silver going all the way up to platinum colored. Okay? So emotional or spiritual desolation and deprivation, gems of light in times of darkness, a latent talent or idea is brought to life. Hidden forces play an influential role. The truth is obscured, uncertainty, concealment, a friend who should not be trusted, suspicion, a time of spiritual, physical, or emotional drought. Reversed, the truth is revealed. Betrayal, suspicions are brought into the open. Spirit in a state of transformation, pessimism, and lack of faith, temporary relief during a dry spell. There's a lot there, beloveds. There's a lot there. What is coming to me first are the last words, the dry spell. Looking at this card between the two towers, the two temples, the two sanctums, and what's in the middle, the heart, the moon, and you have the moon with these rays, you have the full moon, and then you have on the side of it the two crescent moons. You have a wolf, and you have this little doggy here, a Dachshund. And you have radiance or moisture, dew dripping from the moon. And I don't know if you can see it very good, but let's see here. There we go. Coming up from the water is a lobster with a ankh on its back, and there is a box sitting there between the wolf and the dachshund. And there's also a path forward beyond the wolf and if you look at I'm getting a distance, two different distances from the different towers. So there's a lot in this card, beloved. There's a lot there. This is the moon card. In the typical deck, it is 18. It is the number 9. 9 comes before 10. So this is a phase. It is a complete phase going into a next cycle. So the information that you just received in regarding this is about new beginnings and endings and the lead up to one into the other. The next card, let me pause. The next card is number 17, and it is the Star card. And again, beloved, these decks were shuffled. Okay, it was a new deck, but I did my due diligence in shuffling it, and what came forward is what is coming forward. Okay, this is the Star. And let's see what the author of this deck has to say, the creator of this deck has to say about it. Description: While the tower is the lightning blast that shocks us into anguish and despair, the star is the fire of hope and inspiration that can warm our hearts on even the coldest nights. Now, this struck me because the Tower card is it's a card with its own energy. And mostly there are several major arcana cards that cause people reactions. The Tower card is one of them. The Devil card is the other one, the Devil or Death. But this is the Star card, and it's speaking of the Tower card. So take that into consideration. Representing the magical spark and boundless spirit that resides within the world and within us as well. The star encourages us to make a wish. It takes more than wishes to make dreams come true, of course. But without a little hope and belief, one's chances are slim. The star is the goddess of light, life, and love, and to gain her blessing, one has only to dream. Again, beloveds, the whole point of these readings was B.U.I, B.U.T, and B.U.It as questions of self-inquiry, of ways to look within oneself, ways to recognize oneself, ways to recognize the different elements and phases of our own beauty, and to recognize where those standards of beauty come from. The B.U.I is the source of beauty, is the wisdom of beauty, is the womb of beauty, is the first concept of spiritual beauty, okay? We're not speaking of physical beauty, beloveds. B.U.T is physical beauty. B.U.T being physical beauty, being B.U.It as being a combination of both, and being able to understand that this is a trinity and working within that trinity, and understanding that the reason for B.U.I coming back into place is because this is the feminine, it is this time and its season. It is this silvery light, it is this platinum light, it is this mercurial light of the waters, of the ways of the waters, that's coming forth from the depths of conscious awareness, speaking to you in so many ways, beloveds, speaking to you in the most ancient of tongues, the most ancient of what humanity identifies as beautiful. It has to be of spirit for it to be of beauty. That was the archaic, the most ancient way beauty was described or inspired. Okay? Again, this is the star card. This is number 17, which is an 8. And before it, we had the 18, which was the moon card. So we have the Queen of Swords, we have the moon, and now we have the star card. Divinatory meanings. The spirit is everlasting, renewal, healing, creativity. A spell is answered, hope, inspiration, an outpouring of spirituality or emotion, nurturing the world with spirit. A wish held sacred, dreams, astral travel, magical communication, fertility, plenty after time of scarcity, opportunity, rain, flooding, a kept promise. Reversed, disappointment, sorrow, loss of hope, a temporary lag in the process of creative projects, a feeling of lack, a feeling jaded, abandonment. Reserve, leading to loneliness, an illness worsens. A wish remains unfulfilled, a promise is broken, a lack of faith, infertility. Understand and understand all the elements that go into the understanding the star and the properties of this divinatory card and where it's drawing from and where it's pointing to. Be able to understand what is past, present, and what it is your hope for, what it has the possibilities of showing you, okay? And that is that card, and we will move forward. And again, beloveds, this is speaking to me of, I don't do regular tarot like everyone else, and I am seeing this as water bearer bringing balance. I want you to see the blue lotuses on this side, and I want you to see the red flowers, the red roses on this side. And I want you to understand both are being watered. And I really want you to see how the stars are the glow, the emanations, and everything. And I want you to see the seated being on her head. beloved, there's a lot here as far as earth, as far as water, as far as the lunar, as far as beauty, as far as B.U.I, as far as raising your conscious awareness. Once again, we have the blue hemisphere. Once again, we have the red hemisphere. We have the blue lotus and we have the red rose. Both of those are divinely feminine in their own worlds of influence. But both of those conscious awarenesses are being watered now. They're being refilled. And so that is what that particular card, we did get the Tower card. Wow. The Tower card is number 16, beloveds. Let's go into that. Let me show you the card first. And now you see why people react to getting the Tower card the way they do. Number 16, which is a 7. Let's see what it has to say. The Tower. This is the description. No matter how strong we build the house, the big bad wolf can show up and blow it down. The Tower represents those unexpected blasts of violence and mayhem that sometimes sweep across our paths to erase our footsteps and leave us in despair and anguish. Work hard in life to go farther. We reach for the stars and aim for the heavens. But what's often a long climb up is a short fall down. The Tower shows us that even the strongest fortress is prone to the ravages of man and time. Whether a prison or a palace, back to dust will crumble the walls in which we dwell. That's so powerful, beloveds, because once again, in the prior readings, we came to the temple and the sanctum of the temples and the heart of the temples. And again, we're being reminded of the cycles and seasons of man and time being a destructive force. And in opposition of that destructive force and what man has been in time is the divine feminine principle, which is B.U.I, not B.U.T, as I said in the very first video of this series, okay? And you have to go back in order to glean the wisdom, beloveds. That's where the original seeds are planted, and you're getting the fruit in this reading now. So don't just appreciate the fruit. Go back to see what seeded the fruits in order to get the entire meal, entire benefit, entire appreciation of the spirit energy. Okay? Everything is so connected with these cards. Like I said, I'm just blown away, not just by the beauty of them, but the message within them. And I had my own reasons for pushing this deck aside and not using it. And I'm seeing now that it's very much to be used, and I can use it in the manner that I choose to use it. And that is what I'm doing. We work hard in life. Wait a minute. That was the other card. I turned 2 pages. There we go. No matter how hard... No, I was right. Okay. Reread it and just had moved so far forward in my head I'd forgotten. Sweep across we work hard in life to go farther. We reach for the stars and aim for the heavens, but what's often a long climb up is a short fall down. The time shows us that even the strongest fortress is prone to ravages of man and time. Whether a prison or a palace, back to dust will crumble the walls in which we dwell. Divinatory meanings, destruction, spiritual growth is challenged or is set back, a fight, an accident, chaos, insecurity, nervousness, instability, adversity, a warning to use extreme caution, an overhaul of power, evacuation, eviction, escape is advised. Reversed, a circumstance that seems unfortunate brings needed change, evacuation from a dangerous place or situation, a warning to use extreme caution, spiritual development needs a new path, a serious accident, an unexpected windfall. Those are the possibilities, beloveds. And we have the final card in this, which is 15, the devil card. So, look at the male and the female. Again, we see the flowers. The female is drinking. She looks like a fish. The male, with a little bloated belly there, eating flesh. There's a lot here, beloveds. There's a lot here in this card. Okay, let's go and see what the creator of this card has to say about this card. "15, the devil. Description: the devil is the ultimate trickster, that lusty beast within us all that lures us into greed, anger, envy, and other vices, with little regard for the effect on one's soul or other consequences." How powerful a definition and description of the opposition, of the arrogant one, of the one that has been coming forward in divine opposition of the beauty, of the beautiful one, of the one it had to usher in. Okay? If you know the Christian story of the devil, you know the devil was Lucifer. He was a light bringer. Okay? He was an MC. He was the announcer of the Holy Spirit. And in so being that, he was created with divine knowledge and all that he needed to have in order to understand how to represent beauty, how to increase beauty, how to introduce beauty, how to show the way open for beauty. And he reversed that. He took it. He resented beauty. He hated her. He wanted to be beauty. He was beautiful, but he was not the Holy Spirit. He wanted to be the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the divine feminine principle. When you flesh that out and manifest her in the flesh, she is the female able to reproduce, to incarnate spirit, because she is a Holy Spirit. It is just like the lion. It's the lioness that gives birth to the lion. Everything that the lion is because of the lioness. He didn't just be a lion on his own. It's the lioness. Okay? That gets to reproduce that spirit. And that is the B.U.I. The B.U.T, the crossed bear, is the beauty of the cross. I'm not pretty enough. I'm aging. I'm dying. My boobs are sagging. I'm this, I'm that. Never good enough. I need to be cut up upon. I need 1,000 filters because I can look at myself like this and go, oh, look at me. My skin. It's flawless. It's an illusion. I can look at it all day and I can fall in love with it all day, but guess what? It's an illusion. My skin is not this baby smooth. I got freckles. I got dark circles. I got wrinkles. I got all kind of things. But this device is showing you an image and it's playing with light in order to do so. It's creating a filter of beauty. And so many people get fooled by the image created that they become ugly. Because this is a lie. And it's not the truth. But that's what they want. Why can't it be this way? And I got to fool everybody else into thinking that this is what it is. And so, beloveds, the Queen of Swords, the Star, the Moon, the Devil, the Tower, all of these cards in this particular reading are showing you B.U.I, B.U.T, or B.U.It. This is all about the divine feminine, awakening, arising, resurrecting, re-emerging, like that lobster. Let me see, where's that card? Like the lobster, beloved. And of course I can't find the card right now. So, it is what it is. But the lobster was in the card with, it was in the moon card. And it had the Ankh on its back in silver. A lot is coming forth, a lot is coming through. There's a lot here. It's all connected. Connect the lobster with the divine feminine coming up from the bottom. Let's see more about the devil card. Here it is. There it is. Okay, let's see more what this devil card has to say. While temperance represents restraint, moderation, and care, the devil represents abandon, excess, disregard, and indifference. It is the sense of entitlement we feel when none is due to us. It is fear and despair, the shadow of darkness that eats up the light. There we are with that lion. Symbolizing temptation as well as destruction. The devil reminds us that what may seem like a bargain in the moment can easily turn into a nasty deal in the long run. The price of vice is virtue, and it's a hefty toll to wage. That's so deep. That's so deep, I'm not going to give you my interpretation. I'm going to leave that alone and let it reveal itself to you. I'm going to read the reversed angle first. I'm being told to read that next. I gave you the description of the upright card, and now I'm giving you the reversed, which is also an aspect of this card. I did not read the cards, whether they were upright or reversed or anything there. I'm not doing that, but this is what it is, okay? This is the polarities within this card, the devil card. Reversed symbolizes an addiction is broken, materialism is shunned, great caution should be taken, a bad relationship is ending, destructive forces are losing their grip, a change to a healthier and more meaningful lifestyle is needed. Do you understand how to look the devil in his eye and look at him and say, an addiction is broken. That's what you're showing up for. That's what you need to, you are the contrast that I needed to see. Materialism is shunned. No, I'm not going to bow down and worship you for your worldly goods. What you think you can offer me. No, thank you. A change to healthier and more meaningful lifestyle is needed. So, look him in his eye. Look that shadow in its eye. And know what it's there for. Instead of seeing it as your doom and gloom, see it as, you know what? We're about to overcome you. You know what you represent to me? A healthier new beginning. Thank you. Can't stand it. Gonna fade into the darkness, back to the shadows where it came from. Can't stand your light. Can't stand the true reflection of its original reflection of what it was created for. What it was intended for, not what it turned itself into. This is the divinatory meaning of this card, beloveds. The spirit is bound by destructive energies, addictions, being chained by materialism and other vices, lust, dangerous associations, intoxication, vanity, bondage in all its forms. Bondage in all its forms. A warning against reckless and destructive behavior, a shallow lifestyle, an attraction that is purely sexual. An attraction that is purely sexual. That's the truth of that. That's how it looks. That's what it should look like to you. When someone is attracted to you purely sexually and not to your spirit, that's what it looks like. Recognize. So, beloveds, that is going to do it for the B.U.I series, the B.U.T, and the B.U.It. Again, if you're like, what the heck is she talking about? Go to the first video. It goes into depth without the cards of what has been shared. Okay? Go back to several other videos and you will see that when Blue Butterfly Jaguar Woman first came up, that is when the messages started getting very deep. Excuse me. Sorry. Mother with Wisdom is just like, say what? What? Excuse me. Let me get a drink of water. Let me rephrase that. Let me back that up, okay? When Blue Butterfly Jaguar Woman came, more of the spiritual information that's coming up is more from the depths. It's from farther back in time, farther back beyond time. It's ancient in its voice. It's ancient in its frequency. It's ancient in its tongue. It's ancient in its communication. It's a deeper vibe. but it is hand in hand with motherhood wisdom. And I'm not going around calling myself Blue Butterfly, Jaguar Woman. My name has not changed. I am that I am. And that is motherhood wisdom that sticks, that stands. That is what does not change. No matter what aspect of wisdom speaks, motherhood wisdom does not change. Okay, beloveds, that is going to do it, and I want to thank you for listening. Take what you need, keep it at its essence in order for it to help others. You can expand upon it, do what you wish with it, as you have been doing. Also, there are things that I don't say that I'm very much aware of when it comes to the circle of influence. And everything is expanding outwards as I expand consciously and make choices that I'm making. And I'll leave it there like that. Again, thank you, beloveds. A lot is changing. My daughter called me while I was doing this video. There's a lot moving. There are many moving parts and moving pieces. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Be B.U.I. Know who you are. Do not be moved from that. Do not be fooled away from that. Do not be seduced away from that. Peace, beloveds. Peace. Peace be unto you. May your heart know peace. Aho, mama.